Alright folks, it looks like we have an up-and-coming new switch hitter on the scene in boxing, which I'm really excited about. Switch hitter's fascinating. Switch hitting, and you can see my video related to it, is when they use southpaw moves with orthodox moves, and they change the right and left hand as needed to do boxing. Jaron Boots Ennis is not a natural southpaw. He's a natural right-hander who fights out of the orthodox stance. He's highly proficient in switch hitting. So he's learned to be ambidextrous in the boxing ring. It's very unique talent, but a lot of kids are exploring this right now. A lot of people are exploring. They're out in boxing and trying to do this. The younger you do it, the better off you're going to be. So without further ado, we're going to explore the tactical boxing methods of Jaron Boots Ennis. Thank you for being here. Have an awesome day. Please like and subscribe to keep these videos on YouTube.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're stepping right into the ring to decode, honestly, one of the most mechanically gifted fighters on the planet right now. I'm talking about the newly crowned, unified WBA and WBO World Super Welterweight Champion himself, Jaron Boots Ennis. We're going to completely deconstruct his game, taking a magnifying glass to exactly what makes his blinding speed and complex mechanics so incredibly devastating to literally anyone standing across from him. Okay. Let's dive into this course syllabus. We're laying out a biomechanical blueprint today to reverse engineer a world champion from the ground up. We'll be covering the ultimate switch hitter, dynamic stances and pivots, the triple threat jab, multi-beat uppercut sets, and finally, his hybrid defensive armor.
Section 1. The ultimate switch hitter. This is the absolute foundation of his overarching threat level. Before we get into the granular, nitty-gritty mechanics of his footwork and punch combos, we really need to understand the overarching threat Boots brings into the ring. A switch hitter blends elite defense and blinding hand speed with identical power from both orthodox and southpaw stances. Now, I want you to focus on that phrase, identical power. That is absolutely crucial. You know, in modern boxing, being able to fight from both sides is for sure an advantage. But having fight-ending, knockout power, whether you're leading with your left or your right, that's an extreme rarity. It's basically a superpower. It's exactly why Ennis is considered such a mechanical anomaly today.
Section 2. Dynamic stances and pivots. Let's look at the footwork engine that makes all of this possible. As any fight fan knows, every great punch starts with the feet. And what brilliantly illustrates his mastery is how Ennis manipulates his base depending on the exact millisecond of the fight. With a wide stance, he generates this massive, crushing leverage for right hands and heavy body attacks. But then, literally, in the blink of an eye, he'll shift into a narrow stance. This tight base enables lightning-fast foot speed and creates rapid exit angles. While traditional boxers usually pick one stance per exchange, they kind of plant their flag, Ennis seamlessly toggles between maximum damage and pure speed, right smack in the middle of the action. So let's see how this builds into his signature schist hook sequence. It's basically a 3-step process that totally breaks traditional boxing rules. First, he unloads a heavy punch from one stance. Second, he shifts his weight entirely to pivot completely out of danger. And third, he instantly fires a hook from the opposite stance. Most fighters are taught to reset their feet before changing their attack angle. It's boxing 101, right? Well, Ennis completely ignores that. He changes stances fluidly during active exchanges. So he'll attack you as a righty, completely vanish from your line of sight, and then suddenly, wham, hit you with a massive left hook from a total blind spot. It's wild to watch.
Section 3. The triple threat jab. Moving up the biomechanical chain to distance management.
Now, what's really interesting here is how he uses a highly specific matrix to dictate the ring's geography. Because Ennis possesses one of the absolute stiffest lead hands in the sport, his jab is essentially a three-headed monster. First, you've got the body jab. This acts as a heavy distractor, chipping away at the opponent's endurance and forcing their guard down. Then there's the double jab feint. This uses lightning-fast double succession. The first jab acts as bait to split the guard, and the second instantly exploits the opening. And finally, the gazelle jab. This integrates an advanced leap or quick side hop, which entirely changes his entry angle to evade counters. Mixing these three together, it makes it virtually impossible for an opponent to ever settle into a comfortable rhythm. Section 4. Multi-beat uppercut sets, escalating to the climax of his offense. When Ennis gets on the inside, he uses a highly specific rhythm to inflict massive damage. I want you to really think about this for a second. Imagine you're facing a defensively sound fighter who is shelled up and just refuses to open up. How does Ennis break an elite high guard? If you're an elite striker facing a stubborn defense,
How do you punch through it without leaving your own shin wide open to a counter?
Well, he does it by turning boxing into a high-speed game of physical chess. Honestly, it's like a video game combo. Step 1, Ennis commits to heavy, pinning body shots. Step 2, basic human physiology takes over. The opponent is literally forced to drop their high guard a fraction of an inch to protect their battered ribs. Step 3, the trap is sprung. Ennis instantly fires an explosive sequence of triple or sometimes even quadruple center uppercuts. Because he forced the guard down first, those rapid-fire rear uppercuts snap directly through the center target. It is a brilliant, calculated destruction of the opponent's defense.
Section 5. Hybrid Defensive Armor. Let's look at how he stays safe while executing all of this. So the crucial point is, with all this aggressive, complex offense we've talked about, how does Boots actually stay safe? Well, his defense isn't one-dimensional. It totally adapts to his current stance and the opponent's pressure. On the inside, he uses the classic Philly shell, literally rolling off incoming hooks to instantly snap back counterpunches. But if an opponent swarms him with intense pressure, he seamlessly transitions into a tight high guard. He relies on expert body positioning and sharp hip movement to completely smother the incoming offense before pivoting safely out. He flawlessly blends two entirely different defensive philosophies into one impenetrable armor. When a fighter can attack from any angle, shift stances mid-punch to blindside you, and instantly adapt their defensive armor from a Philly shell to a high guard, how do you even begin to game plan against them? That is the complex puzzle of Jaron Boots Ennis. We've reverse engineered a masterclass today, and I guarantee that the next time you watch him step into the ring, you are going to see the mechanics of his chaos in an entirely new light. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and always keep questioning what you see in the ring.